All right, welcome aboard. I just powered up. I turned on the battery. My standby instruments are lining up or powering up. I've got 2450 in fuel. We got 28 volts, so the GPU is working good. I'm going to show you what I do basically to step through all this test. All right, so first we check our databases, and I just updated the chart, so that's good, or it would be yellow, so it's good. We'll look at the message. All right, so then we just hit next to step through all my pages. All right, so payload, I'm going to put in three guys at 185. You got to kind of, and then cargo maybe 50. All right, takeoff weight. Fuel on board, we're going to hit fuel on board sync, and that's going to sync it to exactly what I got on board.
Pause system test.
All right, okay. I'm going to hit next. We're going to type in my flight plan. I'll just type in my destination for now. K, A, C, Y. You can do this several ways. I could load the procedure first out of here. We're going to say the departure out of here. We are doing, I believe it's the Quaker 7. I'd have to look at my paperwork. Let me get my paperwork out and I'll tell you what I filed. Quaker 7 Richmond transition. Richmond. They're using 2-3 left, and then hit load. And then we're going to scroll down to after Richmond. I've got J14 Patuxent. So after Richmond, we're going to look for load airway. Let's find that load airway. I'm looking at several things at the same time, so it's kind of tricky. J14, and I'm looking at the flight plan is what I'm looking at, in case you guys are wondering. J14 to Patuxent. So we hit Patuxent, touch that, load airway. Then after Patuxent, I got J191 to Classy. So I'll touch Patuxent, hit load airway. What did I say? J191 to Classy, load airway. And then I'll just scroll through to make sure it looks right. Yep, looks good. And I can look on the map over here too if I want to look to make sure it doesn't look like crazy bends. It looks nice and straight, so that looks good. And we can see it on here too. All right, so now I'm going to hit next. Now my departure time, I'm going to estimate 1300 Zulu, which is 9 o'clock local. 1300 Zulu. Cruise, I filed, what did I file? 35. So we're going to put flight level 350, enter. All right. For our average cruise forecast in this box, I'm not 100% sure I'm doing this right, but this is what I've been doing. I put in altitude, I'm going to put 350, enter. The winds, I'm going to get off of my forecast here, and at 35, they look like to be about 262 at 36 knots. So I'm going to type that in, 262, enter, 36 knots, enter, and it's saying ISA +4. ISA +4, and I can see on my graph it's +4 pretty much the whole way, so that makes it, should be pretty accurate. Then I'm going to hit save. So that's in there, and that should technically give me a good estimate, but it won't until I get started. So anyways, all right, so we got all that in there. All these things are already pre-programmed. Winds aloft, temperatures aloft will come up when the XM picks up the forecast. All right, so now we're going to hit next. We're going to go through our little it's like the rotary test in the older planes, but it's just all the systems test. Fire warning. You're going to see all, it's going to say left engine fire, right engine fire.
Right engine fire.
All right, we hit the cancel warning. All right. Landing gear.
Landing gear.
It's saying landing gear. I can hit the horn silence.
Landing gear.
Quits that. Angle of attack. We get the stick shaker. We get the AOA moving. All right, I'm going to go ahead and hit that to cancel it. It's done. Windshield temp. I've got to crank up my bleed air, and I'm going to hit it to low, and then we're going to look for an over temp. All right, over temp, I should be able to cancel the master caution. Turn that off, close the valve. All right, and then it finishes its test. Overspeed, it's gonna beep, overspeed, so that works. That's a little annoying, isn't it? Anti-skid, we're gonna watch the anti-skid fail. Master caution, we can reset it. All right, annunciator test. Checks all the lights. All right, they all look good. And then radar altimeter, I'm gonna push the button down here and watch up here. We're gonna hit it, radar altimeter test. The altitude scrolls and it's doing its test. All right, we'll wait for that to finish. It should finish here in a second. There's a jet starting up right next to me. That's a CJ2 right beside me. All right, it should be about done because it got rid of that. Back to 0. It's done. And then we're gonna hit initialize. Oops. So database is done. Next. Oh, why did my flight plan just disappear? That's odd. All right. That's very odd. I don't know why that did that, but anyway, I'm gonna stop this for a second so I can load this. All right, we're back. I hit the next after the flight plan, and it went into my runway. So my runway 23 is the origin, Greensboro. I'm gonna hit weather, hit load METAR. It picks up the METAR and loads the weather for me and the temperature. Runway tells me how long it is. Takeoff configuration, we're gonna say flaps 15, anti-ice is off. Takeoff factor, we don't need to add any, so we'll just do 1.0. Rolling takeoff, we're gonna say yes. And I don't know why my takeoff data is not allowing me to do it. Let's initialize. Weight and fuel. Payload. Oh, it didn't like that. We're gonna redo this one more time. I don't know why everything's disappearing. Sync fuel. Alright, now we're back to where we were. Weather is in there, runway, takeoff configuration, takeoff data. It says checks flaps because I've got the flaps up right now, but we're going to set them to 15 for takeoff. So I'm going to accept those speeds. Speeds will be posted after I get my flaps. I'm getting the little yellow check flaps warning until I crank the engines and get the flaps down, and those little dashes will go away and it'll fill in with these numbers, this 98, 102, and 108, and 123 for Wiener. So anyways, then we're going to hit next, and we're going to hit initial and everything except initialization. We're good, and then we're going to go to flight plan, and that's it. We're all set. All we need to do now, one other thing I do is I go over here, I hit back, oops, I hit home, sorry, home, aircraft systems. Sometimes it's hard to talk, think, and touch buttons at the same time. We're going to hit temperature, and I'm going to turn on the air conditioning, right, just get that going. Everything's on auto, so they'll be nice and low. So that'll be ready, and I'll leave it on that page so before engine start, I'll be ready to turn it off, right? I'm going to set my initial altitude of 5,000 feet. We're going to hit the go around, takeoff go around button, and we're all set. All I need now is to get my actual clearance, which is probably what I loaded in the box, and a squawk code, which I'll get, and I'll type that into my transponder right there. All right, hope that all makes sense, and stay tuned till my passengers get here and we'll be ready to go.
So you want some touch base? Yeah. So just give them a little bit of love. Yep, I'll take that one. And then, people like the guys on. And we have a great dinner tomorrow. I wouldn't mind meeting the 15th in the morning. And we can breakfast and talk about this, what about it, let's talk about how it's going, let's talk about this, let's talk about, I have a
There we go. Lineup items are complete. Panel is clean other than the TCAS. TCAS are
because they got the right to say. I mean, it's the wrong thing to say. Yeah. Oh, that's true. You don't have to do something cheap like you don't have to do. And,
complete. Takeoff.